See what I'm talking about.
There was a difference in them before.
No, exactly. Oh, right.
Right. Good evening, welcome to Planning Committee, 25th of June. Agenda item number 1, apologies for absence.
We have apologies for lateness from Councillor Rob Rowlands.
Agenda 2, declarations of interest. Don't see any. Agenda 3, approve the minutes of Planning Committee from the 11th of June. Proposed. Seconded. Thank you. Agenda 4, public participation. Here. Agenda 5, page 11, plans new. For the form, 5, so not close.
Yeah, so we considered the proposal for the changes to the house that got permitted on this site at the meeting on the 7th of May and recommended approval for that. This is a proposal for the erection of an outbuilding to provide storage at the far west of the site. It's a little bit further away from the dwelling. It might be worth conditioning if you were going to recommend approval for the use of storage. It's single storage. Thank you.
I have one query on this. There is a footpath through there. And I just wanted confirmation that it is a footpath. And what do you know about it? Correct, Mr. Arlett, absolutely.
Through the site itself or adjacent?
It goes right the way through. It's the old bridleway. It has to go right the way through and it comes out on Deanfield Road. The owner has, there's a long history to this. You might know. You might, well, there is a long history to this.
We believe he's trying to go off the.
I want to know that that footpath is, and it's protected.
Yeah.
You know, we've got this Kate Ashbrook and then, yeah, so we want reassurance that there's the right of way remains there all the way through and then comes out and gives the.
So you can see it on the north.
I think
side
it's
there.
sort of there.
So the outbuilding wouldn't affect that part, but we could comment.
The confirmation that the footpath
This
is.
wouldn't be effect, but you need to consider this application of its merits.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson.
Is it a storage unit? Or is it ancillary accommodation?
That's what I'm saying. Condition it.
It looks quite a lot like a nice little garden unit. And measured it, figured for a double bed.
Yeah.
So I would be.
Are there any services, water, and things like that?
No, that's in the plans.
No, not seeing the on the plans that suggest services. If it was Airbnb, what policy would apply?
There isn't one separation of the existing dwelling into two would apply, so
Yes.
impact on amenity and neighbours, highways, etc.
So the condition.
I would recommend that it's used for storage. And it wasn't
Yes, so.
solely used for storage, yeah.
Yeah, we can approve on that.
Could we mark, make sure that there's the
We
footpath
have that
there?
noted,
Yep.
yeah.
Because it is historic and it's been used and he cannot put his building on the footpath. He'll have to take it down. Yes.
So can't recommend approval, subject to conditions.
Yep.
Footpath and sole use and storage. Second, Councillor Jackson. Anybody else going to speak? All in favour? 14 Hop Gardens.
So the Heritage Officer had no objection. The wall is carefully cited and detailed to match existing patterns. It meets the policies of the.
Second, plants. Anybody else got to speak? All in favour? 6 Pierce's Orchard.
So on this one, there's been a condition on a previous application to remove permitted development rights and for any conversion of the garage, so this requires planning permission. It's noted on the plans that there's ample parking and no external alterations. So.
So it's simply to
Yeah.
provide the wheelchair accessible accommodation. Any questions, councillor Plants?
Approval.
Anybody else got a second?
Yeah.
Oh, councillor Dodds. Anybody else got to speak? All in favour? 5 Reading Road, changing use from shop to flat.
So this is an existing shop that will be retained, that will be reduced in terms of its floor area, create 1 bed flat in the rear. It currently doesn't comply with policy MP3 or TC5 because it requires viability in relation to other things, but it's part of the application.
No. Yeah, it might work for this situation, that it's a loss of retail space, it's everything that we stand to protect, so no.
Okay, so proposed seconds. And we're going to speak, all in favour? 3 Marketplace.
I don't have any changes.
Yeah.
Approval is, it's very straightforward, they're just changing their branding slightly.
Got a second, councillor Plants, anybody want to speak? All in favour? 4 games were held, single story road extension.
So they received a pre-application advice, that the planning would be, they, yeah, seeing its modest scale. Limited impact on the neighbours.
Councillor Plants,
Similar to many extensions out there, so recommend approval.
second.
The Tennis Society made the comment about have the neighbours been consulted? And if you look on there, you can see that both sides have, so yeah, that seems okay.
And I'll second it. All in favour? And finally, the response to the change of use.
Thank you. So policy H17 is the local plan states that the subdivision of dwellings will be permitted provided that they meet certain criteria, including that it would not harm the amenity of the occupants of nearby properties. It's appropriate in scale and size, and the proposed in town layout, access and private amenity would be suitable, and that'd be suitable for car parking and the others. Last time we recommended refusal. So we felt it was inadequate sound community privacy and reference design policies.
But they seem to have changed that, they put in capability for 2 entrances, they put the privacy up, yes, they have plans to put down 2 trees, but they're going to put significantly larger hedge up. So, councillor Thomas.
I've got a further question, if I may. I could not work out where the access is for the cars. How do the cars get into onto property drive?
If you've got, I think there's 2 entrances, there are the main entrance at the minute, so they actually have 2 entrances at the minute, one off Fairmount and one off the
So it has to go from the main road. They have
They're
to
already-
go over the main road, which has got lots of trees and.
Is there already? It exists already.
It looked like there was, it looked like a footpath access to me, didn't it, like another access? Yeah, it did look like a driveway access.
Seems to be there's 2 entrances already. One is off Fairmount, basically, you drive over there, and it's just there when you get to Lambridge Wood Road. So there's an entrance there, and there's a small path to the side that will come in to the,
So it's a path, not a driveway.
it's an existing driveway that is there already. It'll cycle past the.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
So where is the,
my understanding is this is a path already. So that exists.
Yeah.
There's also a driveway here to the main house. So there are 2 existing entrances to the side already.
but how do you get to the, how do you get to the second one though?
Over a footpath.
Is there already?
How would you get into that by car
I'm
without?
doing exactly the same as you do today.
Remember, there's a
Taking
parallel
out
track
trees.
that runs along the back.
Yeah, there's a track that's there along there, and there is a front footpath.
There it is.
And it is permitted, it is clear, and it's permitted, right away. There, there's the entrance here with gates. There's the Fairmount. There's where the track is. These are the trees. come along there. That is approved,
So how do you get from the road, the A4130?
so you turn off. Or there's a track, it's for, this is an existing track as well, it's further down. There are two entrances. This track was all, if you've got the, even if you bring up Google Maps, you will see that there is a track that exists already.
We're all very familiar with the town.
Yeah.
Mountain bike, you know.
Yeah. If you come along this pathway to Langley Wood Road, you will see that there is an existing entrance, there's an existing access for.
So the
all
person has to
property.
come off the Fair Mile, then turn right and then left.
Off the front,
Yeah.
turn left and right into there.
Right, we're through.
For both
For what the.
properties.
Same one, in here.
Yeah.
They're existing entrances, to the same property. And all they're doing is subdividing
When
from,
you say all,
they're putting a fence up.
Yes.
That's the only thing they do. They put the fence up, they take it down to trees and they build it. And so. Councillor Plant opposed.
Okay.
He's not again.
Right, we're through with.
Councillor.
And it's not new use space, they've met the criteria as generally set out, the access already exists.
My question is, if, this is quite a recent application, isn't it? This.
It was
Yeah, it's only
originally
a
brought
couple of
up.
years ago. If they had applied for that as an independent property building, would planning permission have been granted?
They,
Well, the principles accepted, so reservation.
So they would have done, because instead of being tied to the main house, which was the clause.
It would depend on other stuff, like the criteria such as fire rates. I mean,
Yeah.
all the things you're considering as part of the subdivision,
Yeah,
you would have to consider that.
yeah, yeah. It's still, I have great sympathy for the lady, but I almost look a little bit like playing the system. Which is how it struck me, because it's all so recent and people knew what they agreed to a few years ago, and now, right, personal circumstances have changed, and I accept all that, but I don't feel like it when people play the system, but, there we go.
Understood. Thank you, Thomas.
so I just wanted to point out to everybody that this annex was built with conditions. And those conditions were placed, I presume, because it didn't meet certain policies in the local plan. And it's a conservation area. So, and also, I'm very concerned about highway safety because that is the shared space. There are walkers and there are cyclists on that part of the Fair Mile. So I've got two concerns there, so I won't be voting for approval.
Proposal for acceptance with any conditions, we've gone through the policies.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else going to speak before? Has it been seconded? I'm going to second the motion. I'll second the motion. Okay, anybody else going to speak? All in favour? All against? Do we have another proposal? So it's 3-2 with 2 abstentions. So it's 3-4. We have 5 with 2 abstentions. You're going to count them.
Come on, you've got to come from the fence, you two.
It's 5 votes,
Yeah.
it's 5 votes, isn't it? 5 votes.
It's 5 votes. Special.
Yeah, you didn't have five.
We had 3 and 2.
Yes, yeah, 3
Yeah, so
So 5 is
You had 3 against
and 2 for.
and 2
Yeah, and 2 abstentions.
2 abstentions. I don't know whether the scheme of delegation applies and you need
Full
a
council.
majority.
meeting
Yeah.
for council, so it wouldn't be approved there.
Yeah.
Unless it
But then it's too late. You send with an observation or?
What was your reason for recommending refusal?
Oh, because there are conditions, when this was actually built, was annexed built. So, planning authority, there was a condition that it can never be separated as 2 separate dwellings. Conservation area and not meeting local, local plan policy. And also for me, it's about highway safety as well for the Fair Mile users.
Okay.
So if it exists today with 2 entrances and nothing's been changed. You have more.
I don't think they're using the 2 entrances for vehicles at the moment, are they?
We don't know. You know, two easy addresses exist,
Yeah,
two addresses existed there. So
I don't know is the answer, because I'm not there watching it.
Councillor Jackson?
I'm gonna come back to something that we've all seen before anyway, so, outbuilding converted to garage with the bit of
Partnership.
accommodation. Then they went back, trying to get it approved as a separate way, we all rejected that. This feels exactly the same as over.
In my head, we had that argument, we had that discussion, but the reasons for rejection were against policy. The reasons that were recorded for this one were against policy, there's 1, there's 2, there's 6. Julie's confirmed that that actually is, because the way it's been presented now, it does meet policy. We're going for change of use, not planning permission.
I don't think you have much in terms of that it's contrary to the policy. I think,
So the local plan policy's changed from before.
no, how they show that they've got a layout, they've got clear parking, they've got clear access, they're not impacting on community. I think they've got enough space in terms of the plot size. I think you've got, less case in terms of.
So if they were doing an application like that originally, they would have been allowed to have an in building anyway.
Let's not waste too much time on it, go through this at D6, let's just
Exactly.
what's happened.
Yeah. Councillor Jackson?
I like the vote.
We have to vote against Andy, we have
So,
to. We have to.
don't think you do it.
But we don't have the 2/3 kind of thing for planning. Okay, that's fair to make. As well.
Okay, so what's the, what do we start from that?
Someone is recommending for one reason.
Yeah,
why
recommend
it needs to go to
remember
vote,
the
then
vote
we can't.
again.
Okay, so,
So Michelle
I'll
can do
vote
it.
for refusal, reasons I have outlined earlier.
second,
Hmm.
all in favour of that? 3, all against? Let's cast the vote. I will stick with the vote that I, in the first place.
I do think that we were kind of, well, I'll tell you later.
Okay. So, agenda item 6, objections, qualifications?
None,
None.
well, unless anyone else wants to try.
7, decision notices.
I'm gonna call in August.
Okay. Fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you, councillor Orland.
Each four. Doesn't matter, it's common. Agenda item 7, decision notices. Deerfield Road, Victoria, Marmion Road, Granted. There's the building consent, Van Gideon Squared, advertising consent, Gideon Squared. Then we have law development agenda number 8. Following applications of that having court and secretary of the court. Maybe for it, you could say. Right. Tree, agenda item number 9, tree preservation order.
No, this is just, it's being made as a tree preservation order, so it's just come to the committee to know this is up at Castle Road.
That's Thomas.
Yeah, I fully support this one. I remember the residents from Castle Green coming to speak to us all. I think I've heard that they're actually applying to make their space their town green, is that right? I think they were going forward with that one. Yes, I fully support them.
Finally, is that for all of us?
Yeah, you don't think the green spaces that they've got there, Castle Green, I think they've made a move to protect them. It's like up at Gillis Hill.
First one we did.
Yeah.
Agenda item 10, telecoms apparatus upgrade rules.
Yes, got some, so this is a proposal for, open mask, 5G, at Maitland, it's pre-planning, so this will go to SADC for a prior approval. This is just getting our thoughts in terms of before the application gets put in. So there's a few things that have to be considered, that they should be supported by necessary evidence to justify the development. And they need to undertake consultations with local interests, and that's why they're undertaking this. And they need to show that they've explored the possibility of erecting the antennas on existing buildings. And there's also, in terms of meeting the International Commission on Non-Ionising Radiation Protection, the agent working on behalf of the have confirmed that they'll be putting in a submission to say they're compliant with those guidelines. So no other health aspects or concerns can be considered on top of that requirement. Before any other specific questions, you can come to me, but
Slightly issue, we discussed it on planning terms on the,
yeah.
planning terms of, but another conversation, finance, and we'll talk about that later on, but planning terms. That's Thomas.
Well, this is really an unusual one because this actually is coming up at the finance meeting, as you all know afterwards, and it's being discussed in confidential. So I'm wondering if councillors should actually have that conversation. It's kind of like one should come before the other in a
I
way.
think from my perspective, from Jenna's perspective, I'd rather look at it from a planning perspective, purely as a planning perspective.
Okay, well, I'm not going to be making any observations then. I'm going to go in.
That's Thomas, sorry, councillor, councillor Lewis.
Get there in the end.
Yes.
I am concerned over loss of amenity in terms of visual amenity. It's the way the side, you've got a beautiful view over the hills from Maitland. To have a mobile phone mast right in the middle of that view would be hideous. It's an inappropriate site for it.
It's trying to be high, the trees there are 11 metres, yeah, the negative ground of 1.5 metres, it's going to be almost double height. For those of us that are the beacon lighting recently, it's a stunning view, they're in that beacon photos is usual. And then a 20-metre solid mast in one of the prettiest views overhead. I know you can't, we don't have that sort of like right for protected view, but I mean, we should do our best to protect that view. Like, it is going to be slap bang. Any families, the skate park, that is used, such a well-developed space where residents, town council, we've done a really good job of that. This week completely bastardised.
You've got people kicking footballs around there. What happens if they kick a football into that site and then it's behind a fence, they can't get through? It's an inappropriate site for it.
There has to be more appropriate.
I don't know if block community is a reasonable look at
It is,
this.
yeah.
So it's out of keeping, it's supposed to be, we're buying sort of a, or is it biodiversity, potential for criminal damage, or putting something like that, in my mind, putting something like that, right beside a skate park is calling for.
Also, it's currently green space. It wouldn't be if that sort of thing. Small impact, but still an impact on biodiversity.
So
Yeah, so the local plan policy says it should seek to minimise impact on visual and amenity character and appearance plans of the surrounding area. So I think that
It couldn't do a worse job on that. Yeah. I mean, there's got to be a building, a fire tower, something you can go
then the information we had was permanent in terms of, it was going to look like this, there was nothing else but what other locations were selected, what was the criteria for selecting this one, blah, blah, blah. From a plan perspective, we will look back on visual amenity, potential for having more. Okay.
That's green space.
Yeah.
Out of keeping with that. There, yeah. Okay. Audio sucks.
The other side is, if you put something like that up there, in terms of the beams, you will not really capture that, you're not going to capture it. Anyway. So progress report for application called in, agenda item number 11, the Mount and St Mark Road. They'll come on. Okay, cool. All done, 25 past